Hello, my name is Marcius and I want to talk about some 3D printed upgrades that I've made to my home gym. So I have a BambuLab P1S 3D printer just right over there. It's a pretty good printer, but the upgrades that I'll be talking about today in this video are printed in PETG, PLA or TPU. So basically, pretty much any decent 3D printer should be able to print these 3D upgrades, these gym upgrades with little issue. My home gym is also pretty basic. It's a squat rack, a barbell, some plates, a bench. I've got everything I need for a really good workout. But these 3D printed upgrades just add a little bit more to the home gym experience. And I think if you have access to a 3D printer and you also have a home gym, I think they're well worth considering. So let's dive right in. Okay, number one are these front lip protectors that I have for my J cups that came with my squat rack. So I have a 2x2 squat rack, and the J cups that came with it, they're fine. They have protection on the back side here and the top side here, but no protection on the front side. I don't mind making scratches on my equipment. After all, it is a gym, but since I have a 3D printer and I have some TPU, I thought, why not print something to protect the front side of the J cup? I went online and I found a few models that fit on the front lip of the J cup, but well, there were a couple of problems. One, they either didn't fit this specific J cup that I have, or I found a model online where this top side here is a little too high or too thick, which will get in the way when I rack or unrack the bar. So I kind of made my own version here. Now, in my version, you'll see that it kind of fits like a little bit loose. It's not like completely flush on the surface of the J cup. I found that if I make this TPU, this front lip protector too tight, it would fit nicely on the J cup at first, but over time, the TPU would kind of loosen and it would slip out. Anyway, so what I found was that if I make it a bit bigger and I use some tack to stick it to the J cup, I wouldn't have problems. This thing has been on for more than a month at this point and it doesn't seem to have any issues staying on. So front lip protector, easy upgrade. Okay, number two is this deadlift jack that I found online from the user JCGil on MakerWorld. Now, when I first saw this model, I was pretty skeptical, right? After all, this is just regular old plastic. How strong can it be? How much weight can it hold? But I downloaded it, I printed it with 6 walls and 30% Adaptive Cubic Infill, and it's a pretty solid piece. So this deadlift jack allows you to lift up the barbell to load and unload plates very easily. And I've loaded this up to 5 plates just to test it out, and it held up fine. There's no issues. I've been using this for my regular deadlifts of 3 plates plus for the last month or so, and again, held up fine. Looks brand new pretty much, aside from some scuffs here from the barbell. But other than that, no problems at all. I highly recommend this model. If you have a 3D printer and you want an easy deadlift jack, I recommend this with no problems. Okay, number 3 are these angled barbell fat grips. So fat grips are kind of these rubber pieces that you slip onto your barbell, and it increases the diameter of your barbell. So instead of grabbing a barbell like that, you now grab these instead. So people use fat grips to train the grip, or they use it to train their forearms. Now for me, I use these ones because they're angled, and what that means is it sits on the barbell kind of like that, and it's particularly useful for when you want to do barbell curls. Now if you're like me, if you do barbell curls with a straight wrist like that, you get irritation on the wrist and it's really quite uncomfortable. However, with these on, they angle your wrist just a tiny bit inwards, and I find that it's much more comfortable doing curls with my wrist like that. Now, to be completely honest, these do not replace an easy curl bar. So if you have an easy curl bar, I would just use that. But if you don't have an easy curl bar, and you just need a tiny bit of pronation, you might want to consider giving these a try. Now, as I said, the angle of pronation is quite slight. Again, it's just a little bit, but I think this little bit is enough for me to make it more comfortable for me to do curls. So number 3, I think this is well worth considering if you have a 3D printer and you have wrist problems when doing barbell curls with a straight bar. Number 4 are these overhead barbell holders that I have on top of my squat rack. I have one here, I have one here also, this white thing here. These holders allow me to put the barbell on top of my squat rack for 2 reasons primarily. The first reason is storage. It's just easy to put the barbell up there and get it out of the way. And the second reason that I wanted to put the barbell on top of my squat rack is for pull-ups. So I have a pull-up bar here that comes with the squat rack. This pull-up bar is fine, but I just have 2 annoyances with it that had me looking for another way. The first one is that this bar is completely smooth, okay? This makes gripping it and holding onto the bar quite hard, especially if you're on your 4th or 5th or 6th set of pull-ups. The second annoyance is the height of this pull-up bar. So I have a really short squat rack, and because this pull-up bar is short, right, it's just a bit taller than me, I find that I really have to make mental effort to lift my feet up when I do pull-ups. And again, it's usually fine, but I thought, why not print something to help with this? Now, you might be thinking right now, why not just put the barbell on top of the squat rack? Why even need for a holder like this or for a holder like this? Well, there are a couple of issues with that, and I'll talk about them right now. Okay, to demonstrate the issue with doing pull-ups, if you just put the barbell on top of your squat rack, I've put 2 barbells here. One is this power bar from Barbells Steel, really good bar with no holder. And here I have a Synergee bar with the holder. Now the problem if you want to do pull-ups with just a barbell like that is that it will roll, okay? So if you're doing pull-ups here, you might start from the start of the rack or at the back of the rack and then just gradually kind of just rock back and forth, okay? It's not a fun experience. However, if you have the holder here and you make it really tight, I modified this so it fits really tightly on my barbell, you will see that this doesn't rotate at all. I'm trying really hard to turn it and it's not turning. So this makes pull-ups much easier compared to this really rotating bar. And also, because this holder raises the bar, you know, just a couple of centimeters, I don't have to lift my feet as high as I need to if I was just if I was just doing pull-ups on the regular pull-up bar. I also want to demonstrate the holder that I designed and made for my multi-grip bar that I have here from Barbells Steel. I wanted the option to do neutral pull-ups, or rather pull-ups with a neutral grip. And I thought if I put my barbell just on top of the squat rack, I should be able to do it no problem, right? Well, no, I cannot. There's a couple of things. One is, again, it does rock forward and backwards, but the biggest problem is that this thing, because of the way it's designed, has a tendency to tilt downward. Okay, if I let this go, it's gonna fall down this way. Now, imagine if you were doing pull-ups like this, and then it falls down like that, you're gonna hurt your wrist. So I didn't want to take that chance. Now you might ask, why not just leave the bar like this and just do pull-ups using the grips right now? Well, that could work, I think, but still, this bar will rotate, or it has a tendency to tilt, rock back and forth. And I think the bigger problem is I don't want to continually put the bar up for pull-ups and then bring it down for squats. If I just leave the bar like this, I'm gonna conk my head on this or on this when I do squats. So I would have to, you know, put it up there for pull-ups, bring it down after I'm done, and then the next time I want to do pull-ups again, bring it up again. And I thought that was quite a hassle. So to solve this problem, I printed and designed these. So as you can see, I put my multi-grip bar on top of these holders that I made, and I designed these holders in Tinkercad, and you can see there's some kind of staircasing platforms. Basically, these different platforms kind of support the curves of the bar so that it no longer tilts back and forth. This thing is pretty tight. It doesn't tilt back and forth anymore. So this is now my favorite way to do pull-ups. I can use these neutral grips here, and because of the curve of the bar, I now get much more height compared to the pull-up bar from the squat rack. You know, I get, I don't know, 15 centimeters of height. I don't have to lift my feet as high up as I need to, and I can take advantage of this knurling here. which is way grippier than this sleek pull-up bar, darling. So yeah, highly recommend this adapter or this holder. If you have my squat rack and you have this Bells of Steel multi-grip bar, then this should work for you. Again, highly recommend. Big improvement. I think this is my favorite 3D printed upgrade for my gym. Okay, last but not least, the last 3D printed upgrade I have for my home gym. It's not really an upgrade for my home gym, but it's a footwear that I use when I work out in my home gym, which are these 3D printed slippers in TPU. So for the workout that I do, I primarily just use a barbell and I do your squats, your bench press, your deadlifts. There are two requirements pretty much that I have when it comes to the footwear. One is I want it to be really easy to slip on and slip off. I don't want to, mess around with shoes and shoelaces if I don't have to. And secondly, I want something that's really close to the ground, as close to bare feet as possible. And these 3D printed slippers really fit the bill. Now, before I was wearing these slippers, I was wearing flip-flops like this. And these flip-flops really, I don't really have a problem with this. I wore them for months, everything was fine. But one nitpick I had with the flip-flop is that this part right here, that goes in between your big toe and your index toe, I thought it was quite irritating when it kept rubbing against my skin. And so I thought, I have a 3D printer, let's see if I can find an alternative. And I did, kinda. This model is a modified version of a model that I found online. I think the model online is called Loto Barefoot Mules or something. I'm going to put it in the description. But basically, the model online has a covered toe section. And I kind of modified it so that it doesn't have the covered toe section, it just prints this area here. So I get a slipper. Now, I really don't have any problems with this. In fact, I'm going to continue wearing them. I've been wearing them for a month now, it's fine. But if you want to print this, a couple of things you need to take note. Number one is that when I say no cushion, this is really no cushion. Now, if you're not used to barefoot shoes, you might kind of be taken aback by this. The second thing is that because how it's printed, it prints like this. It comes off the print bed like this. Now, because it's printed like this, what you have to do is you need to unfold it. Sorry, you need to cut this area off so that it can unfold it. However, what that means is when it's just sitting on the floor, it has a tendency to kind of bunch up like that. Again, it's not a big deal. It just looks kind of odd. And the last thing is, again, because it's printed this way, this part here is being printed on the print bed and it's really smooth. However, this part here, right? This part here is much more rough because it's printed like this. You would be able to feel with your toes just how rough this area is. Because I've been wearing this for a while, I think I've worn down this area a bit more, so it's smoother than how it was when it came off the print bed, and I'm not bothered by it anymore. But if you want to print this, you got to keep this in mind. This part will definitely feel rough to the touch. That's it. I think I'm going to continue wearing these until they break because I really quite like the easy slip-on, slip-off nature of it and how close to the ground I can get. I pretty much feel like I'm bare feet with these, so I recommend it for my use case. Alright, that's all the upgrades I have for you today in this video. If you have a 3D printer or you have a home gym and you have any recommendations or suggestions on what other upgrades I should make, just leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to try them out. Till then, my name is Marshall and thank you for watching.